Assalamualaikum and good day. Today we will conduct a forum about COVID-19. So our first situation is Indian government declaration of victory over COVID-19 in 2020 to 2021. This was a controversial topic, raising ethical question about prioritizing political gain over public health. Let's hear your talk.
Thank you for the invitations. While the government announcement aimed to boost morally and rally support, it was premature and misleading. Uncertainty about the virus tragedy was hyped, and declaring victory could have hampered necessary precautions and response measurements.
I agree. This declaration time around the 2021 election Rice concurred about prioritizing political gain over public health. It might have discovered citizens from following safety protocol, potentially contributing to future surging in case.
But wasn't there a decline in case back then? Should not we acknowledge some success in the government strategy?
Absolutely, we can't deny the initial decline in case, possibly due to various lockdown measures and natural immunity. However, attributing is solely to victory narrative without acknowledging remaining risks and uncertainties was ethically questionable.
That's a valid point. Now let's discuss the ethical implication of this decision.
Firstly, it undermined public trust. When reality later contradicted the victory claim, it eroded confidence in the government's handling of pandemic. This could have hampered future cooperation in implementing vital public health measures.
Okay. Secondly, its potential endanger life. By downplaying the threat, the government might have discouraged citizens from taking necessary precautions, leading to unnecessary infection and deaths.
Okay, next we are discussing the current situation in India, where citizens and religious groups are advocating for the easing of lockdown rule during the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's begin by hearing different perspectives on this matter.
As a concerned citizen, I understand the need for economic stability. Many individuals and families are struggling to make ends meet due to the prolonged lockdown. Easing the rules can allow people to return to work and support themselves financially.
While I emphasize the economic hardship, we must prioritize public health. COVID-19 is still a threat, and easing the rule could potentially lead to a surge in case. We need a strike to balance between economic recovery and keeping people safe.
From a religious standpoint, festival holds immense culture and spiritual significance for many communities. Temples rely on these festivals for income, which in turn supports various social and charitable activities. Easing the lockdown can help preserve these traditions and provide financial stability to religious institutions.
I understand the importance of religious festivals, but we cannot ignore the potential risks associated with large gatherings. COVID-19 doesn't discriminate based on religious belief. We should prioritize the safety of the public and find alternative ways to celebrate festivals without compromising public health.
Okay, so it's crucial to consider the impact of our decision on the overall well-being of society. So we should focus on implementing strict safety measures such as mandatory testing, social distancing guidelines, if we decided to ease the lockdown rules. And this way we can strike a balance between economic recovery, religious sentiments and public health.
Today debates India's controversial decision to halt COVID-19 vaccine export during a domestic shortage. What is prioritizing national need or abandoning global responsibility?
In a pandemic, a country's first responsibility is to its own citizens. Prioritizing domestic vaccinations until supply meets demand was ethically justified.
But India had pre-existing export agreement, creating ethical obligation. Breaking those two solely focus on internal need raised concern about trust and fairness.
Let's not forget, India was manufacturing a significant portion of the world's vaccines. Shouldn't they have some say in where they go?
Absolutely. However, the sudden export ban disrupted global vaccination initiative, particularly in low-income countries relying on Indian supply.
True. The ethical dilemma lies in balancing national priorities. with global health equity. Is there a solution that addresses both?
Perhaps India could have phased out export gradually, fulfilling existing commitments while ramping up domestic production to meet internal needs.
Excellent points. Open communication and transparency with both partner countries and its own citizens could have mitigate the ethical concerns.
The pandemic exposed the complex ethical issues surrounding resources allocation and global health equity. Moving forward, international cooperation, transparency, and equitable access to vaccine are essential to prevent similar dilemma. Okay, let's move to the next question that we are going to discuss the recent breach of vaccine contracts by manufacturer in India. As instructed by the government, this decision has raised ethical concern. So what do the panel think about this issue?
The manufacturer decisions to breach the contracts raises serious ethical question. Contracts are legally binding agreements, and breaking them can damage trust between parties. It's important for manufacturers to fulfill their obligation, especially during a global health crisis.
While the breach of contract is concerning, we must also consider the we must also consider the unprecedented circumstances that India faced during the second wave. The overwhelming surge in COVID-19 case and the strain on the healthcare system may have influenced the manufacturer decision. It is a complex situation with no easy answer.
The breach of contracts not only affects the country protecting the vaccines, but also undermines the global vaccination effort. It's crucial for manufacturers to honor their commitments to ensure equitability, access to vaccine worldwide. Transparency and clear communication are key in such situations.
We need to examine the factors that led to this breach of contracts, the government's instructions, and the urgency to address the devastating second wave may have influenced the manufacturer's decision. However, it is important to find a balance between national priorities and fulfilling international obligation.
The breach of contract highlights the need of stronger accountability and oversight in such critical situations. Government and manufacturer should work together to ensure that contracts are honored while also addressing the challenges and complexities that arise during a pandemic.
Many economic activities such as export and import have also been impacted by COVID-19, causing a variety of issues for traders. The consequences of COVID-19 are so severe that many parties have failed to carry out their respective responsibility as stipulated in the contract they had previously signed. Many contracts, particularly commercial contract, will include a piece of paragraph that address contract termination as well as force majeure. In general, force majeure refer to an unexpected event that cause or prevent a person from completing his contractual responsibility. Remember to keep discussion respectful and constructive. Okay, let's now speak about the Indian government recent prohibition on vaccine export and the subsequent decision by other countries to reciprocate by prohibiting the export of raw material. This circumstance create ethical consideration. Let's look at this from a different angle. So let us hear the panel talk on this.
The Indian government's ban on a vaccine export was aimed at address their own vaccine shortage. However, the retaliatory action taken by other countries to ban the export of the raw materials seems like tit for tat response. It's important to find a balance between national interests and the global cooperation during a pandemic.
The decision by other countries to ban the export of raw material can be seen as a response to the Indian government action. While it is understandable that countries prioritize their own citizen need, we must also consider the global impact. Collaboration and solidarity are essential in fighting this global crisis.
The ban on vaccine export and the subsequent export ban on raw material highlight the need for open communication and cooperation between nations. Unliterally, actions can hinder the global vaccination effort and prolong the pandemic. Finding ways to work together and ensure equitable distribution is crucial.
It is important to consider the underlying reasons behind this decision. Vaccine shortages and the urgency to protect their own population may have influenced the actions taken by both in the Indian government and other countries. However, it is vital to find common ground and prioritize the greater good.
And the situation calls for diplomatic dialogue and international cooperations. Instead of resorting to bans and retaliatory measures, countries should come together to find solutions that address vaccine shortage while also ensuring fair access to vaccine for all nations.
Along with dealing with the COVID-19 issue, it is critical for both parties to act fairly in terms of respecting and preserving individual rights, building confidence between the two sides, and creating harmony in society. However, if we look at the other circumstance where India is likely to be obligated to place a ban of selling vaccine in the interest of their own country due to an increase in COVID-19 cases in their country, the situation becomes more sudden. We must constantly respect the view and decision of the others. Imagine this: Malaysia, a major vaccine manufacturer, facing pressure to prioritize the domestic vaccination while grappling with a potential vaccine shortage. How do we ethically navigate this complex situation?
Okay, so for me, it's the contract matter. We have to consider existing export agreements and the potential legal ramification of breaching them. Company to risk, invest resources and sign contract in good faith.
Agree with that, but the national health comes first. If the domestic needs are dire, prioritizing vaccinations for our own citizens, especially vulnerable population, could be ethically justified, even if it means temporary contract delays.
I agree, but shouldn't transparency and communication be key? Openly explaining the situation to partner countries and exploring potential solutions together could build trust and avoid legal battles.
Exactly. Collaboration is crucial. Perhaps Malaysia could negotiate reverse delivery schedules, prioritize the most urgent needs of partner countries, and seek additional vaccines or through international cooperation.
Excellent point. What's about exploring alternative ethical measures within Malaysia?
Maybe prioritizing high-risk group at first, followed by a phased rollout to the general population, while ramping up domestic productions. Domestic productions simultaneously.
In conclusion, navigating vaccine export dilemma during shortage requires a delicate balance. Open communication, collaboration, prioritizing urgent need, ensuring domestic and internal equity, and investing in long-term solutions are key to protecting public health and upholding ethical principles. So, the last situation is this action also had triggered the chain reaction from other countries. The United States banned the export of raw material to produce vaccine to other countries. The European Union had also curbed their vaccine export for 6 weeks. What is the panel view on this situation?
It's concerning. This chain reaction wasn't global shortage, but equitable access.
Absolutely. While each country prioritizes its citizens, it creates a vicious cycle. Open communication and collaboration are crucial. Malaysia, like other nations, should engage in transparent dialogue with partners, exploring solutions.
Okay, we also cannot ignore domestic equity. Vulnerable communities within Malaysia should not be left behind, and equitable access within each nation is equally important.
Let's conclude our engaged discussion on this complex ethical issue. We explore various viewpoints, learn valuable insight, and hopefully spark further critical thinking. Let's continue this critical conversation beyond this forum and work towards a more ethical, sound future. Thank you all for joining.